To have Will Hyder with us today. We're going to be talking about real estate. We're going to be talking about marketing. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on, Will.
Thanks for having me. We live?
We're live. Looks
All
like
right.
it. Yeah, buttons up. Says live one.
Cool. I like
Yeah.
this platform you got here. What is this? It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
called Restream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can we
it's
see
pretty
comments
clean.
and stuff or what?
What happened?
Can we see comments
Yeah. So be on they'll pop up on the
on the
the
right
right
there?
hand side. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. All right. Cool. Yeah. How's everything been?
Good, man. Yeah, life's good. Can't complain. Staying busy. Trying to get some more
Yeah.
deals to the finish line. How about you?
Man, it's been a good month. Last month we procured a lot of listings. This month they're all closing, so it's like a good turnaround, right?
Right.
You guys are working hard for us. So a lot of good stuff this year. Plus,
That's
the marketing
badass, man.
companies obviously streamlined pretty well. I
Mhm.
just look back. We've been in business for 5+ years now. It's
That's
time
awesome.
flies, man, like crazy for the marketing side. So,
Yeah,
but it's all gravy. So
that's badass, man. Congrats, man. Yeah, 5 years, huge.
baby's growing. He's almost 2 now. So
Nice, man. That's
we're
good.
getting older, man. I got gray in my beard and shit.
Right? It's
Last
funny how that pops up out of nowhere.
4-year reminder, like 4 years ago, I had like a little Facebook reminder. I was back
Mhm.
in like my old little cheap apartment and shit. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild how
Crazy
time
where I am
fast
now. I'm on
goes,
the
man.
beach, coastline with a beautiful water view and a beautiful family. 2 businesses. Right. So let's talk a little bit about that, right? Like, because at the end of the day, guys, marketing and real estate has brought me to where I am today. So, like, I love to share things that work for us and our clients, and for Kai as well.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just to get started, you want to introduce yourself and who you are, what you do?
Yeah. So that's a great question. My name's Will. I own Massive Marketing Pros. I'm also a licensed real estate agent here in the state of Florida. Our goal with ourselves is a system that we build for our business that works for us. We then create a business to help others all across the United States. So that's our goal, whether we help you as a client on a one-on-one basis, or we help you through our free trainings that we have through our Real Estate Marketing Pros 2.0 group, or through other groups that we do free trainings and different things that we do in the marketplace to help people learn the things that we've implemented and tried and tested, whether it be we do it for you, we do it on your own. It's all out here, guys. So, utilize the tools and the free resources and then use it to grow. So that's what we're here for.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I love that, man. So, how would you explain marketing? Because I feel like some people here, they're brand new to business, they're brand new to real estate. What is marketing in a nutshell?
I mean, everybody's a marketing business. This is how I think about marketing. Like, marketing is the first thing you do, right? Like, first thing, and then sales. If you Marketing and sales are like the number one thing you need in business, right?
Hmm.
Because there's so many people that have a great product, a great service, but they don't know how to put themselves out there. They don't know how to get out of obscurity. Like, how do you market yourself? That's why it's super important to understand digital marketing, understand branding, content marketing, email marketing, and not just front end stuff, back end as well, CRMs, things like that. So you can, stay in front of your audience, because that's marketing as well. So it's not always about, up front. It's about, on the back end too, as well. And we can explain more about that later if you like, but
Yeah, definitely. 100%. Looks like you got a comment. Looks like that's Brian. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for hopping on. I know it
yeah.
doesn't show you the names. I got Facebook up to you, so I can check. That's the one weird thing about Restream is like unless they like
What's
sign
awesome.
up. Hmm.
So Brian Will.
Yeah, I think yeah, Brian Thomas.
Oh, Brian Thomas.
Mhm.
Cool. What's up, fellas?
Cool. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, Q&A, so feel free to drop them in the comments. Definitely happy to answer them for you
Slash
guys.
you guys, right? Your audience is mostly wholesalers. Is that correct?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So for wholesaling, we sell residential real estate, but wholesaling is not much different. I mean, you're doing a lot of assignments and things like that, but ideally the approach is the same, right? You're going after sellers, whether we're going after home sellers to list the property or want to go after them to rent it out for them or potentially sell it for a quick cash offer. It's the same approach, right? How do we get to them? It's all about the data play. How do you get the data? How do you get that name, email, phone number so you can make that contact? That's where marketing comes in. That's where advertising and building funnels and not, it doesn't necessarily have to be a funnel sometimes. You can just purchase the data. There's so many ways to get seller data. The goal is how to get the data and how can you get in front of the data to then speak to them, right? So a lot of people cold call the data, which is great. It works very well. You can then take that list and upload it to custom audiences and do it that way. So what we like to do is build a machine. So like for example, we call like if we're going to call for sale by owners, we have a list. We get the list from Vulcan or Mojo Dialer, wherever you want to get them from. They're all the same. We can get them from Mind as well, which is an MLS source that I have as an agent, which gives me free homeowner data, which is pretty powerful. Um, So, and if you're an agent watching this and you do wholesaling and you have the MLS, check in your MLS. You may have some free sources of data in there. Some MLSs have it included in the fee, some don't. Like I have clients in Texas and other areas where it's not included, but there is, the other areas where it is. And I mean, dude, I just pulled like all of Clearwater Beach condos, all up and down this whole beach line. And guess what I'm gonna do? You can do circle prospecting on that. You as wholesalers can go after that and see if anybody's absentee owners. Like the list I was pulling was phenomenal. So I mean, the list is important. So I mean, I can talk all day about marketing, bro.
100%. Same here, man. Yeah, that's one of my favorite topics. So yeah, I'm happy we're doing this. So let's see what you got. A comment from Danetta. She said, "Do you feel social media marketing is a little better than face-to-face marketing?"
When you say face-to-face, you mean networking and things like that? It's all important.
Yes, and
all of it. Do it all. I'm a big 10X mindset kind of guy, like massive action. Massive action on all fronts. When you're out and about, make sure people know what you're doing. Have your ears perked up. Listen for conversations when you're in restaurants, bars, things like that, church, whatever you guys do, gyms, things like that, right? But what I was getting to on building the machine is this is what we do, for example, like for sale by owners. We pull the list, we download that list, and then we upload it to, for example, our Go High Level account with a workflow. Okay, so we have text automation hitting that list immediately, and then our callers look at the list to see, okay, who engaged with the list. In addition to that, the workflow has a Facebook custom audience feature. So when all the names, emails, and phone numbers that roll through that workflow are going into a custom audience on Facebook. And guess what? They're seeing our ad on Facebook and on social media, on Google. So when you ask about social media marketing, it's super important. Do it all. When you're out and about doing networking, do videos and post that stuff on your online, right? Put it in front of your custom audiences and your cold audiences. That's how you generate social media branding and marketing.
100%.
With the existing list that you already purchased. So a lot of you wholesalers are buying lists and you're doing mailers. Mailers are your cold calling. Am I wrong, Kai?
Yeah, no, that's what most people are doing. Yeah.
That's the majority of and then a lot of people come to me for the digital because they've never done digital. So they come to me and I take their list and I take the old school ways and then we create a system around it. But, lots of cool stuff, man. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, no, I think that's huge, man. I think, if anyone has other questions, hopefully that answered your question, Netta. But yeah, I think you touched on a great point there that it's, being omnipresent and hitting them from multiple ways is just so powerful. I mean, I was cold calling someone the other day and they're literally like, "Oh, like, who are you?" Just some random person. I'm like, "Hey, you can look me up. I'm online." And they look me up and like my website. They like my social media profiles and like, "Oh, cool. You're a real guy."
Yes.
And, got the deal.
Yeah. And that's funny that you say that. We didn't mention that part, that third party validation and presence online will validate you when you make these calls to these people. Hey, check us out. We're not, talking sheep. Let me show you. Boom, link. It's reviews. We have a custom video from our host from our show that speaks to them 4 minutes, right? Super engaging. It's in studio, right? Like in addition to that, we give out like free value things like, here, check this out. This will help you get more exposure on your home or whatever, right? Like whatever you can do that provides value, proves you're the authority. And then when they validate you by looking online, they can see you're on Zillow or whatever, like whatever your website, send them to where your assets are, guys. Utilize what you have, because if you don't, they're going to go searching for you and find what they want to find. Right. So like send them and drive them. It's another funnel that you can do. It's a manual funnel. When you're getting off the phone with them, drive them to where you want. Right. Yeah. And all those places, if you drive them to a link that's on a YouTube or a link that's on a funnel, like if you put a video of something and you put it on a landing page, put that pixel on there. And then guess what? Once they click on that, now you can track them. Now you can track them in your social media marketing, right? So, I mean, it's super powerful if you know how to put it together. And I just did a free training on this in my group, how to retarget and target like a pro, like how to set up these type of custom audiences. It's a free training. If you guys want to just comment below, I'll send you the replay.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's free. And it'll show you exactly how to set that kind of stuff up. All right.
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, this applies for you guys. If you guys have any questions, comment below.
Yeah, so I got one. It says, Netta said, "What are some of the fees when using marketing companies or marketing co?"
Depends, it just depends. If you're asking what our fees are, it's obviously a few $1,000s a month investment. But it just depends on who you hire, right? Like we're a full service company, so we're going to build everything from start to finish, and we're also going to call the leads, scrub them, do everything. Some companies will just generate leads for you. Some people just want to sell you lists. Some people just do mailers. Some people, you know what I mean? So like, it just depends on who you hire, right? I know people that'll send, 5,000 pieces for $5,000 for you. I know plenty of mailing companies that do it. You know what I mean? So like, is the return on that, in my opinion, mailers that good? Not really. I mean, the response rate's like less than 1%. to me, I'd rather spend that money on having a direct call to a list or running ads to collect
Right.
more data. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of spending $5,000 to get maybe one call or two calls, unless you have a killer conversion rate, it's up to you guys. But typically a few $1,000s plus ad spend, depending on what you're looking to do. So.
Yeah, that's huge. And I want to go back to talk about the list because I think you're right. I mean, really, debate where you're getting your data from, and I feel like the data is a key starting point. So, where do you pull lists, or what kind of lists do you like?
Yeah, we pull lists from anywhere we can validate it. Like I said, I'm an agent, so we have a lot of great lists that we get directly from the MLS. And to be honest with you, all your guys' lists that you're getting as wholesalers, if you're not an agent, majority of it's coming either from MLS or public records, right? Or like off-market things that maybe just got recorded at the title. I'm sorry, at the courthouse, things like that show up, right? So like for us, we like to pull lists of people that have lived in homes longer than 5 years. It just depends on like what type of data you're looking for. For wholesalers and people that are looking for cash, quick cash, you're probably looking for distressed people that are maybe absentee owners. Around here, if I was going for that, I would probably go after all the condos that are absentee owners, that are investment properties, and reach out to people that, maybe it's had deferred maintenance, or it's not getting rented as much anymore, and they're just sick and tired of quick cash offer, or you know what I'm saying, or just there's a lot of creative things you can do with your list if you know how, right? So it just depends on kind of your audience. But we always like to go for people that have lived in their home for 5+ years, have equity, you know what I'm saying, are likely to sell, things like that. There's companies that'll pull things as far as like, are they behind on their mortgage, things like that, or we have pre-foreclosure lists, which you can get from like Vulcan, people that are about to go, list pendants, those people are, quick to want to sell, potentially even a short sale, right? So you can get a good deal there. So like, there's a lot of, places to get list. I know people that pay people just to go to the courthouse and get them direct from the courthouse. But again, that's just another way of gathering data, right? So like, the point is once you get that data, what are you going to do with it?
Right.
Like, everybody can get data and pay for data, right? But how do you approach your data, right? How do you put it in your CRM? How do you follow up with it? How do you engage with it, right? To be meaningful and to get people to, like and trust you, want to do business with you and trust you. What are your most common objections that you get, Kai, when you make these calls?
It's usually, the biggest one's price. Yeah. It always comes down to price.
Yeah. So you got to be ready, What's your objection for that, right? How do you handle that objection?
Yeah, so usually if it's right in the beginning, they'll say, hey, if they're like, oh, I don't want a lowball offer, or if it's like later, if it's price, so they're like, hey, we have a variety of options, or we have various options we can do, and we definitely don't want to lowball you, but let me ask you a couple questions so I can get you an offer put together. So that's basically just address it. I'm not here to lowball anyone, so let's ask you a couple questions so I get you an offer.
Where you get your lead source. If it's super cold, you'll have different motivation questions. Like for that, you're gonna ask them, I don't know how they came to you. They may have opted in for something. So like, what happens if you don't sell the property, or like, what happens if you continue on the current path that you're on? It could be anything. It could be about to foreclose. It could be already in dilapidated condition. They need to sell it, or like maybe they inherited it and they don't care about it. What happens in the future? You're like, what's your plan ultimately? Because that's where the follow-up comes in, right? And that's where the CRMs and the systems come in, because maybe they're not ready right this very second, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no worries. What happens in the next few weeks or a month or whatever, right? Let's follow up with you and follow up. I'm closed so many deals on the follow-up. It's powerful.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't do wholesaling a lot, so I'd have more like objection handling for you guys. But like at the end of the day, if they're not ready now, they're not willing to take that money now, maybe they will be later, right? Yeah. So like, always keep that door open, contacts to contract, and always ask for referrals. Always say, hey, do you know anybody else that is looking to potentially sell? Or do you have any other properties? A lot of these investors have other properties. So, don't sleep on the data. You got to just use your data properly. A lot of companies sleep on that. They call the data one time or something, or, they generate leads and they just don't hit it enough. And this guy, you dial for dollars, what I'm talking about, right? Like,
yeah. No, 100%. And then just having to automate and stuff is so much better. Like we started doing like a 30-day follow-up. So even if I give someone an offer and they're like, fuck you, I'll never take that. And then like you're way off, and I'm like, okay. And I'll still put like a 30-day drip campaign. So it'll go back out and hit them up again. Like, hey, did you end up selling? Or, I don't remember exactly, something like that. They're like, hey, I just want to check in on you and see if you're still looking to sell or if you got sold. And we just had one the other day that came back and like, oh no, but I have another property I want to sell. I'm like, oh, cool.
There you go. So That's it, man. Money's gonna follow up, guys. Everybody's always trying to get the shiny object on the lead gen part,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody focuses on the data once they get the data. Like, okay, what do you do with the data? Build the system. I promise y'all, you build a system and you build scripts and SOPs around this. Once you build scripts and SOPs and you build systems, and then you can delegate it to virtual assistants, and that's who we use. You think I do all this calling? I don't. She does so well for me. We've literally landed 6 listings in the last 2 months, 4 of which are under contract, and they're going to 2 have already closed. The other 2 are closing in the next 3 weeks. I mean, when you have the right systems in place and you get the right people, man, you can really make some good money and help a lot of more people and reach more people. And when you're not bogged down with making all those calls, you can go out and be getting more lists, getting more data sources, right? So now you can feed your team more, and now your machine's built bigger, right?
Yeah, 100%.
When you guys are out and about marketing, when you guys are out and about, create links. I'm sure you guys do this, Kyle, with either business card links or something for you to be able to collect data with these people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's always got a business card. No. Screw the business card. Like, what's your phone number? Put it in there. Connect on social media. Get their Facebook. Get their Insta, right? Like, just go where they're going most of the time. So that's where you can communicate with people. Know where people at and communicate where they want to be. There's so many platforms for communication these days. So some people don't want to be called and texted right away, especially if they don't have a number. Text them a little bit, warm them up, right? I always say, like, create engaging conversations. This is one thing that we use. This is a little slick trick that we use on our first initial text. A couple of them. One is, hello, is this owner name, or is this the property owner at? Sometimes that sounds a little salesy, but like what we'll say is, hey, are you still taking offers at 123 Elm Street?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, yes, we are. Perfect. Give me a shout back if you're taking offers. I'd love to chat with you. Not an agent. And then put your name, dash Kai, right? So they know you're not an agent. They also want, and then it basically a call to action that you're basically saying, I want to speak directly to the owner. So like they call you because they think you got an offer. So you blast that to your list. That's a 2-stepper. That's literally a 2-step text sequence. If they reply yes, that they're the owner, well, you confirm that the list is good because you got a good phone number for the owner. So even if they don't call you back on the second response, now you can still have the opportunity to still call this lead. So you confirm that it's good, and then you still have the potential to get a call to your phone, which is powerful. That's direct. Right. So people that call you direct, guys, they're more apt to close with you because they've reached out to you, right? So, and it gives you more leverage because they called you, right? Great. I'm so happy you called me. I appreciate it. You made an excellent choice. Let's talk a little bit about your home. Tell me a little bit about the condition. Why are you guys looking to sell? What's going on? And just stay quiet and just let them talk.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I think doing that, like open-ended question in the beginning and just getting them to open up and, hey, what's going on with the house there? And then they just open up there. It's like usually they'll answer most of the questions you planned on asking anyways.
And your rest of your sequence is open. And we teach this to our VAs too, because that's super powerful because you're hiring people that are virtual assistants from like the Philippines and stuff. It's super important you teach them how to become conversational and engaging, not just read a script and go question by question. It doesn't sound good. It's not memorable. It's more transactional. And you're going to get, you're not going to get as far on these calls. Every time I sit with my sellers after I've already had, live transfer leads to me from my team, they're like, oh, we loved your team. We love Ava. She's so easy to talk to. She wasn't pushy, Like this is like a week after. I'm already closed the deal, basically. I'm listed. I'm just hanging out with the seller, right? Like she's telling me how good that is. So like, especially for wholesaling, because there's a lot of y'all pounding these phones, right? So like, how do you set yourself apart? You got to get to know, like, and trust people. You got to get to know their landscape and understand their why, understand what makes them tick. Why did they click the link, right? And try to get into the psychology of it, the mindset of it, and not just try to drive numbers down people's throat,
Right.
If you can make that connection, even if you're a little bit off on the money that they're looking for, they like you. They'll do the deal with you. Because they like your mission. Maybe they like what you got going on, right? Some people have a mission on what they do, right? Oh, we do houses, we do flips for veterans and, whatever, right? You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah.
So.
No, I think that's huge.
Yeah, for building. And that's how you guys are going to get these deals done. If you're struggling with like the not interested bullshit,
So a lot of people I know in the group, we have a lot of experienced people too, but I know a lot of people are just getting started or haven't done their first deal yet. When do you think it's the right time for someone to start marketing, or what do you think the best channels are for them to start with?
Cost-wise or just in general?
Yeah, just cost-wise. Yeah, if they're just starting out and they have a lot of money.
I always say, sweat equity first, right? When I first started, I didn't have a lot of money. I had to start. And then once you start getting deals, like I always say, keep your expenses low in the beginning. Like don't go out and buy nice cars and trying to outperform everybody and be like showboating and shit. Stay grinding. Stop trying to shine. I heard that from somebody the other day. Who was it? I can't remember, but they said stop trying to shine all the time and stay grinding.
I like
Once you
that.
get that first deal, reinvest it.
Mm.
And what's super important is if you understand SOPs, like I didn't learn this stuff. I didn't learn systems, SOPs, scaling, virtual assistants until 3.5 years in, 4 years in, right? So I was like, what do I do with my money? Oh, maybe I should go buy leads here and do this and do that. But then you don't realize, no, you just need the CRM in the back end to go with it, right? And then you spend money and you waste it because you didn't have the rest of it to help. It's like, learn it all, like be part of these groups and learn the systems that you need in place and invest in the money all at one time and do it right out the gate. So hire a virtual assistant to help you. But before you do that, create standard operating procedures in your business. Whatever your script is, Kai, create a standard operating procedure behind that, right? Whatever you can systemize, where you can delegate, that's bottlenecking you, create that and then delegate it and watch your team scale, right?
So what would an SOP look like for a script?
An SOP would essentially for us, like for example, for calling buyers, right? Qualifying real estate buyers. We have a standard operating procedure. I don't know if I can do screen share right here, but
yeah, you should be able to.
Let me just pull it up here real quick. It's very simple. Let's see. Where's the button at on this thing? I've never used it.
Yeah. In the meantime, if you guys have any questions too, you got to keep dropping them in the
How many
comments.
people are watching? I can't see that.
Yeah, we got I think 3 now. We had like 8 and then down to 3. But they'll help them
I'll
back
do the
in
screen
now.
share button, but on this thing here. But anyway, so the SOP is simple, right? It's your script. And then what are your, like for us, it's red flag identifiers. Like, so if they say things like bad credit, credit repair, low credit scores, they don't have down payments, you know, anything that's going to disqualify them on income levels, those are like triggers, red flags. So if we hear a series of these during the call, they know that this is probably not going to be a live transfer. So like, just know that. So like, it's great to build rapport and understand the search criteria on the purchase of a home, but you got to understand the buying power as well. So in order for us to properly disqualify a lead, you got to know both sides, the positive and the negative things. So we create standard operating procedures with literally the red flags. What are the most common ones? What are people saying? It's literally listed there. So when they're hearing them, they're like, oh, that's one. Like I had one last week, literally 6 of them popped up on that thing. I was like, there's no way, you know what I'm saying? So, and what's cool is if you have go high level, which you guys do, most of you do, I know you do, Kai, you know, you guys have call recordings so you can train your teams, right? So train them and make them better.
Yeah, I think that's huge. Be on the record and then be able to go over that with the team. It's just, everyone thinks their calls are great, but when you listen to it,
yeah. I mean, I didn't listen to myself. I mean, I listened to my own recordings, you know, and I even like, okay, I should have stopped and actively listened a little bit more there. Maybe I jumped in on him right there, right? Or maybe I should have went a little harder there, right? So like, you know, it's super important to like listen to yourself and listen to your teams, all that stuff, and track all that.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one of the best ways, especially if you don't have a lot of experience. And I mean, even if you do, like to get better at sales, is just to listen to yourself.
But I just literally gave you the blueprint from start to finish. If you're brand new, it doesn't take much. You guys, depending on how much money you're making per deal, it doesn't take much to reinvest that back into a team really quick.
Right.
And use that team to scale and get more deals. Once you have a proven model and you know how to scale it, that's it. You just scale, man. It's a wonderful thing. But you can't scale without SOPs. Stop shooting from the hip. Even if you're by yourself right now, hire and develop systems for where you want to go, not for where you are. And we learned this in Apex, right?
100%.
Start now. Get ready. Invest in yourself and watch others invest in you. And I mean sellers, homeless sellers, people like that. They'll see you're legit. You got things of value, right? You may be able to find another source of money that allows you to be able to provide more margin for these sellers. So like things like that. So like always be looking for other ways to have purchasing power as well. Creative financing, things like that, right? The more options you can have for people, the better.
100%.
Hope this helps you guys. I hope if you guys are finding value, please comment below. Give me some love. I can't see it. Kai can share it with me, but
I gotta check that out. I thought you could see it. I think it'd be like an overlay, but I gotta play this platform more. But yeah, this has been great, man. I've gotten a lot of great takeaways. So going back to the VAs and your assistants and have them make calls, what's your onboarding process like? And I mean, how does that look?
Yeah, so another SOP that we have created for that, from the job description post to I literally just did 3 interviews earlier today. We have one coming in again on Monday. Very simple. We have a nice job description. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie with you. We recreated it through Chat GPT just over the last month or so. We took it and we said, okay, take everything I have from my other SOPs and I want you to create this new. So like use the AI guys to help you. If you guys are struggling with scripts, use that. But anyway, back to the onboarding. We create a job description. They come in and then, we interview them, obviously. But before we do that, we always do a 1 hour, give me a 1 minute video plus your resume and send it to this email. If they don't follow those 2 steps, they're already not hired. We don't even mess with it. They can't follow directions, right? So do that, guys. It'll save you a lot. If you're hiring virtual assistants, Kai, honestly, this virtual assistant talk is a whole nother hour. Like this is like super important stuff. I've learned this the hard way over the years. I'll dig into that in a second. But virtual assistants, just make sure that a lot of them I actually come across a lot of wholesaling virtual assistants. I actually have a hard time converting them to calling buyers. So guys, there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, they're super experienced.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Just qualify them. Have interview questions related to your script. And that's another cool thing that I had the Chat GPT do. I actually just did that the other day. I said, create me interview scripts around this SOP. And it spit out 10 questions. And I used that today. I was like,
that's good.
It was pretty super. It was sick. So like, so anyway, so once they're onboarded, they go through that first interview. If everything sounds good with their credentials, they sound good, to speaking to them, I'll say, okay, no worries. We're going to do a second interview. And then I'll send them my script through text or through email. I'll send them an email with the script and I'll say, record this and send it back to me because I want to hear them what it sounds like. Okay.
That's good.
Give them like a 30-second to a minute script and see kind of how they sound. And if they sound good enough. And what I do is when I listen to it, I close my eyes because they're Filipino. So like close your eyes, don't watch the screen because this is how people are going to hear it. Okay. So like they send you a video, just make sure you close your eyes and see how it sounds because this is what it's going to sound like when they come across. Typically, I tend to hire females just because they sound a lot better. They tend to get a little farther. They're a lot easier to talk to. I have a few male, ISAs that are really good, but they're soft spoken. Really, like I've actually had my clients say they're like have great bedside manner. That's actual words they used.
Yeah.
So like just find those type of people, but you want to find also people that can handle objections. So like make sure you ask them questions about objection handling, things like that, right? Situational things, active listening. Make sure that they're an active listener. They're not just a script driven ISA, right? You want to be able to have somebody that can pivot accordingly on these calls, right? So there's a few things you can learn. If you guys want to learn more about that stuff, like I said, we have a lot of great things that we teach about this stuff for free. So like reach out to me or Kai wants to give them the link.
We'll drop it in here. You're great. So.
Typically it's for real estate agents and loan officers, but the stuff that we teach is the same across the board.
Similarities
a little bit, right? So like, guys, it's not really that hard, but once they're onboarded, then we have a standard operating procedure for training. We bring them through our core values. Basically the first day is all about core values and who the company is, what we're about, what we bring to the table, all that stuff. And then we start going through the basics on the initial trainings. And then we typically do 1 week of training. So 1 week is going to be all through just going over the calls, different calls. We'll go over the CRMs, the systems, the type of ads that we're running, things like that, so they can get an understanding of how everything's flowing. Then we start doing role playing on like day 3 and stuff, things like that. And then by like day 4 and 5, which is Thursday and Friday, they typically start jumping on the calls because I'm hiring people that had experience. So if they're not ready by the 4th day to start making calls, that's a good chance that they're probably weeding themselves out. And another thing too is during that week, have a 0 tolerance policy. If you miss any days in the first week, don't even come back. Okay. It's not even going to work for us because it takes a lot of time and effort to train virtual assistants. So you want to make sure that they're dedicated. And that's why you go over core values right out the gate, because they want them to know that this is what we're about. And this is what companies hire us to do, or this is what we are about, and essentially for you. Right. So like you want to make sure they're in line with your core values, and you can read their face and you can see how they are. So
100%. No, that's great. Thank you, man.
Once they're on board, and then we have KPIs, tracking reports. That's actually, you can't see my screen, but I have reports all over the place. But, have your callers tracking everything from the amount of calls they're making, their response rate, their answer rate, how many voicemails they dropped, everything. Notes, follow-up list of all the people that are follow-up, all that stuff.
Nice, man. That's awesome.
And then I run meetings Mondays and Fridays, and then trainings on Wednesdays. For a few hours. We spend from like 1 to 3, we have trainings, and all we do is listen to calls, go through systems, see where we can improve. And that's how you can scale. You've got to invest in the team in which you hire. It's only as good as the time you invest to train them, right? trust me, if you're a good leader, they want you. They want you around. They want you to be present, especially when you're a virtual company. You got a lot of VAs.
Right.
You only see them a few times a week, right? So like,
Mhm.
be involved with them. They appreciate it, right? So like, get involved, invest with them, and motivate them, inspire them. Pump them up when they do good things. I just bonused out one of mine yesterday because we just closed the listing on one that we did, right? So like, take care of them, man. That's it. When you hire good and you have good onboarding processes and solid core values, people will stay with you and they'll help you grow. But
That's great. No, I definitely got to implement more meetings. I think it's a great point.
yep.
And so it looks like we got a couple comments. We got Marshall. Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for hopping on. And Brian said, I need to dig into Chat GPT more. You definitely do, man. Yeah, fucking AI
ChatGPT
revolution's here.
I just dove into it like at the beginning of the year, and I felt like I was behind the 8 ball, but we're really not. I mean, there's still a lot of people asking what the hell it is, right? So like, jump in there and hop in there and check it out. It's free.
Yeah.
And I've been doing ads and marketing for, like I said, 5+ years. I just had just popped up like 2 months ago. I'm like, fuck, dude, this is crazy. So like, you could take what you're already doing and spit it in there and get other ideas, and it's just mind blowing, right?
Yeah, no, it's wild, man.
It makes nice little systemized emails, like corporate style, emails. Where before I was just emailing like clients and virtual assistants and things like that, just kind of raw. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just email. But like, this is a nice formalized email. You can really clean up your systems and create, customer satisfaction pipelines within your CRMs to track, performance of your clients. I don't know what you all do. It's mostly wholesalers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, tracking the pipeline stages, people that, that you get under contract, everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, ChatGPT is wild. Yeah, so AI revolution's here. If you guys aren't digging into it, you're going to be left behind because this is going to get more and more powerful, and it's just so much crazy stuff coming out. So I had to do it yesterday, and a lot of people do wrong with it is they just still ask you to do one thing, but you got to like season it, like you were saying, SOPs, and then out of those SOPs, have it make like job interview questions. That's great. One thing I did yesterday, because it can read books, so I found out it'll like read a whole book for you, like knows all the books. So I'd be like, hey, read this book, give me a summary. So I said, hey, read the Straight Line script or Way of the Wolf by Jordan Belfort, and then like give me a summary. And it did it. I'm like, cool. Now do Chris Voss's book, and then it did a summary. I'm like, cool, make a sales script for wholesalers based on this, and it did. And it's pretty good what it came out with, and it used all those principles. It's fucking wild.
Yeah, so like if you guys have custom websites with verbiage, what we've done is we've copied and pasted verbiage from our website, just drop it into ChatGPT, put like a little colon and say, write me SOPs or scripts or something around this, right? Or write me core values, right? Something just to get it started, right? Or throw in, like if you're unsure how to write core values, write in all the words that describe who you are, all the integrity, no excuses, whatever, all of them. Just type them all in there and say, write core values for me. Okay, now type me an acronym for this. Or like for us, I said, write me, like my company's Massive Marketing Pro, so I used the word massive. I said, okay, write me an acronym with these core value words to fit massive, right? So like, just tell it. It's crazy. And it'll start popping out some stuff. It's pretty cool, guys. Check it out. I'm like promoting over here for chatgpt.com.
Right. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, if you get the if you pay for it too, it's $20 a month. They give you the newest one, ChatGPT 4. It should get rolled out. That's nuts, man. So crazy. Yeah, I got a buddy who's a coder that uses it, and he's like, "Yeah, it used to take me a week to do stuff, and now it's like 10 minutes. I can like."
Yeah, I wish I was smart like that. Like I'm not big on HTML and coding and stuff, but
I don't know any of that.
Like Russian, like high level with that, and but it's all that type of stuff. And it's like if I knew how to type that in and ask the right things, I would love to do that. I think I need to invest in that, but I don't know, that artificial, it's just boring to me, that coding crap.
Yeah, no, coding's over my head.
You know what I mean? I like to see images and videos, things like that. All that coding and numbers and dashes and shit. Y'all nerds can have it. Like, I'm good.
Yeah, nice.
Phone numbers I like to look at are phone numbers, emails, and phone numbers and commission structures and things like that.
No, Sam. That's great, man. But no, I've been getting a lot of takeaways, and I appreciate everybody hopping on. So if you guys have any more questions, definitely be happy to answer them for you guys. Anything about real estate, anything about marketing or AI, whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah, wholesaling is all about the data play, man. Every time I get a wholesaling client, the first thing they talk to me, I say, hey, how much data you got? Start there. Because a lot of y'all already got data. So don't be going out there buying Facebook ads and running interest-based targeting when you got a freaking slew of data. You just don't know what to do with it. Create systems, operating procedures around that. Get your script. find a nice sounding virtual assistant if you don't want to do the calling yourself, or you just need to get more callers. Especially if you're having a low answer rate during a time in which you're calling. If you're calling it like early in the morning, I don't know when you call, Kai, but everybody gets busy. If say your times is 8 to 10 every fucking day, right? Well, who the hell's calling at night in the middle of the day? Those are 3 or 4 different opportunities where teams like mine, we got staff and we're hitting the numbers, the same numbers you're down. So guess who's going to get the deal? We're going to get the deal because we're hitting it more than you, right?
Yeah, it's all about volume.
You guys got to get volume.
So somebody just said, "Is Will ever down to host classes for real estate people?"
Always do it.
That was Brian Thomas. Yeah.
Brian Thomas. Yeah, reach out to me in the DM. I would love to host a class. We can talk about what we can do for you and stuff. Everything. I love it. This is what I do. Real estate marketing is my thing. Sales marketing, helping people grow. That's what it's all about. So that's why Kai brought me. I appreciate you having me on. I feel like your audience is getting some value from this, so it's great. It's good.
Yeah, of course, man. No, I'm getting a ton of value too.
I still got a little bit of time. If you keep spitting some stuff, man, I'm full of information. So I've done so much over the years in this space, from working with real estate teams, wholesalers, builders, investors. The marketing space is constantly changing, but the one thing that I found the biggest thing for investors, guys, is your data, where you get it from. So
no, that's a great point.
Where do you get yours from, Kai?
Mostly county. So try to pull county stuff. We use PropStream too.
Yep.
That's pretty much the big ones.
Mojo. There's companies out there you can pull data from. Like I said, I'm an agent, so I get a lot of this data for free, and I generate it myself through ads. But a lot of your wholesales could be in business longer than you guys or both of us. So some of you guys have some really awesome data sources. I've talked to a lot of some Apex executive guys. I mean, they're pulling in some fucking sick ass data, and then they're running like mailers. So then we'll run digital side by side the data, and 9 times out of 10 it outperforms them. When I ask them how many leads they generate, their response is, we got a 0.6 response rate. I was like, what does that mean? He's got 1 call. It's like, okay, so you spent $5,000 to get 2 calls with maybe a phone number attached to that. No email came in with that, nothing. It's like, we're getting name, email, phone numbers. And if you're buying it from your list or you're generating it, you're doing things with all of that, texting them, emailing them, calling them multiple times, multiple outlets, right? And what's cool is we actually use a lot of messenger bots in our, for example, our Facebook ads. So like that list that you're dialing, when you go to upload it and you target them and you have them opt in through the social media, now our messenger bot has captured their profile. So now they're connected through their social media. So not only do you have their name, their email, their phone number through those 3 methods, but now you can connect to them through their messenger, which is super powerful. There's like 1.2 billion users on Messenger right now. It almost surpasses most other communications. Is what people are on is Messenger. I mean, look at Snapchat, look at Instagram, IGs. It's everybody's DMing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The AI is powerful because if you have a great email, but the phone number is bad, well, guess what? You just target them on your social media. Now you got a good phone number because they've opted in and put the good shit in, right?
Yeah.
Now you're connected on the social media so you can see what you're working with, see what kind of prospect you got, right? Not only that, they can see your videos, they can see your content, your social media that you're putting out, your reels, all the things you've been doing. They said this guy's legit, like what Kai said earlier, right? So you're putting the full machine all together at once. But you got to start now. So if you're new, start by building content. Get out there. Just get your feet wet. Just get active, right? That's all I can say is get active and start meeting people. The more contacts you make, the more contracts you make. I learned that from Grant Cardone. GC, baby. Contacts to contracts. You got to keep making them. So go to conferences. Go to places where the home sellers are. Run your own seminars. You know what I'm saying? Bring in people, however you can do it, right? Go a party, Anyway, what do we got here? Let's see. I work for a title company, realtors, loan officers, veterans. They're all one classes. I love teaching. So wherever you're at in the country, I fly in. I just got back from Texas. We flew in. We created SOPs and a full CRM build for one of my clients in Texas. I'm launching a brand new brokerage. We fly all over. So just got to give me some notice. I don't know where your people are here from, but
yeah, Brian's here in San Antonio too.
Yeah, I love Texas. Texas is my second home. I haven't been to San Antonio, so if you're in the same area as Kai, you can knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. See Kai, it'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure, man. No, I love to show you around.
Bring Kai too. We'll all talk about wholesaling, all that stuff. Bring in a whole crew. So maybe we can get a sponsor. We'll get a lender to sponsor it or something. We'll get somebody to sponsor it, bring some lunch. We'll do the whole thing. Be nice.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Yeah.
Cool. What other questions do you guys got?
Yeah, drop in the comments you guys have any. But yeah, so for me, I think they answered a bunch. So now are you, so I know you mentioned kind of getting them to opt in to Facebook. Now, is that just like ad traffic, or are you using cold, are you trying to convert cold traffic and get them to opt in to get their messenger and get them in their
Both.
automations?
So it's your custom audience of your
Mhm.
of your data, your names, email, phone numbers, and everything you have on the list, and then it's a interest-based targeting.
Mhm.
That are for sale by owner people, and then we do it through video marketing and specific type of ad copy that's attracting people of that nature, landlords, investors, right, that have investment properties that are just sitting, things like that, right?
Mhm.
But like I said, we don't do a lot of wholesaling though.
Right.
We're looking to list properties
Mhm.
because we're agents. So
That makes sense. Do you guys ever get like ones that you do wholesale, or they're like pocket listings, or you just kick to a wholesaler or something that like, needs a bunch of work, or it's just a nightmare, you don't want to
I have one right now.
Mhm.
Actually, if you guys are listening, it probably needs around 50 grand. I think once you get done with it, you could probably net like 20,
Yeah.
30 grand on it. And honestly, the guys are about to go into pre-foreclosure. It's first-time home buyers. The house it's the roof, everything is solid. The structure is solid, but the interior is all cosmetic. Now the kitchen's still together, but like the back sliding door needs to be replaced. It's one of those older 1978 sliders. So like probably the whole door is gonna have to come out, and that has to be replaced. And then the bathrooms have to be redone. So that's probably like 20 grand right there. Like I was saying, like 20, 30 grand if you really do it nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Got solar panels on the house. It's a block home. It's beautiful. I think you could sell it for like 360, 370. If we can get anywhere like 260, they basically just want to walk away from getting foreclosed on, honestly.
Yeah. Shoot over, man. Yeah,
Like,
we'll do something. I'll call them up.
and like honestly, if we can get like 10 grand, 10, 20 grand in their pocket and then pay my commissions,
Yeah.
and they're out and about. I shared it with a couple of Apexes. I didn't know if you worked in Florida with it, but
Yeah, we just did one in Valrico.
right? It's just gonna have to come in on cash and then flip it,
Yeah. No, I got buyers out there too. Yeah, we just did one in Valrico. So yeah, shoot it over. We'll do something.
Yeah, I'll shoot it over to you guys in the group. That would really help me. It's off market, but it's listed. I have a signed contract, so it's kind of off market deal right now. I've been trying to get in touch with him. The guy's kind of, the kid. I think he's gone off on, he's a little hard time on drugs. Unfortunately, I've seen that before. But
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate. But if we can help him get out from the situation, it'll help his credit too.
Yeah, for sure. No, we can definitely work something out. For sure. Yeah, Florida's hot, man. Yeah, there's a bunch of buyers down there.
Yeah, so deals, data, CRMs, SOPs, virtual assistants.
Mhm.
Right? We track virtual assistants. If you want to talk a little bit about that, we track them through, screenshotmonitor.com.
Really? Okay. What's that?
Screenshotmonitor.com. It's $6 per user. It allows you to track their screen. So it literally takes screenshots every 3 seconds of what they're doing. So if you got them in your CRM dialing for you, you want to make sure that you're not only checking the call reporting to make sure the dial sessions are happening.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that they're touching quick enough, right? But you have the screenshots, so you can make sure they're not playing around and things like that on YouTube and watching stupid things, right? Like additionally, you want to make sure the activity level is high. So in addition to that, you'll track their hourly rate. So at the end of the week, okay, this is basically how much you're getting paid for. It's how much was on this screenshot monitor. It's like your time card. You got to click. You got to time. Clock in basically, right? And we make all this mandatory. It all goes in our operating agreement that we send to them as a what I'm saying, a single person, right?
No, that's huge. No, I need to get that because I'm like, I don't know, like, because I have ones that are pulling data, and I'm like, is he really working? Is he not? And like,
no, you need that. Yeah, no, and that's the thing with the VAs. You got to track them, man, because you will have people that job hop you, especially if you're paying them only like part time work and stuff like that. They're gonna get other accounts, right? So like, you got to be careful with it,
right?
Because data is tricky, man. I don't usually typically let virtual assistants pull the data unless I know exactly where the data is coming from, and I'm just having to go in there, exporting it. I'm not letting them look at the data and find it first. I'm pretty much setting it up for them, and they're getting it out and then formatting it. Does that make sense? Just because I want to make sure my data, like, I don't know, I'm a weirdo when it comes to the data. I just want to make sure it's good. They're not like skewing the list and things like that. Because I'm about to pound this list. I want to make sure we're not about to waste the next month at least. Because I typically give something a good month, a good list, like a good system, a good script that you first build and you give to somebody. train them, keep training them. You'll train them each Wednesday, keep training them, but do it for a whole month and track the whole KPIs for the whole month. I wish I could show you my screen. I could show you my KPIs for my FISBOs. You can see the amount of answer rates. You can see everything. You can see how many dials that you need to get how many answers, to get how many deals that were closed. So you know how to accurately predict the amount of activity that you need in order to produce a deal. Does that make sense? But if you don't track that stuff, guys, you're just going to be wishing you did. I promise you.
Right. 100%.
So hope that helps you guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. Thank you, man. Yeah, it's so weird to won't let you share. But
yeah, it's just a new program. I'm not used to this program.
Yeah.
Here, I can't find the buttons, but forgive me.
Someone said, shout out, yo, guys. Hey, thanks, guys, for helping out.
It doesn't bother me. Like I said, I love doing these. Just give me some notice,
Yeah.
Like we do trainings in my group every Thursday at 1 p.m. Strategy sessions, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We do everything from ad building to SOPs to virtual assistants to mortgage. We do mortgage stuff in there. We do, realtor-based stuff. And to be honest with you, I'll probably do some on wholesaling. It's not going to be a bulk of things, but we'll probably do 1 or 2 trainings on that, right? And I may even pull you, Kai, in to help a little bit with it. So,
yeah,
and bridge the gap a little bit. So,
yeah, definitely, man.
How often do you guys do your?
So we do these ones every Friday at 12:30. That's the time we try to do it. Sometimes we have to move it around depending on people's schedule. But yeah, usually that. And then I try to do the live cold calling once a week too, which I've been slacking on.
On other groups like Apex, I do free trainings in other groups as well. So I just try to get out there and, spread the love,
Yeah, no, 100%. No, I think it's, I'm about being a go-giver.
Through the Apex Executives group, I've been through all Grant Cardone's trainings and things. I've been through multiple agency level groups on marketing. In addition to obviously implementing thousands of dollars in ad spend and investment in myself over the years, right? Just being in circles with 6, 7, 8 figure earners it's mind blowing the amount of potential out here, guys. Whatever you're doing, you could do 10 times more. I promise you. There's 100%. Just so much more opportunity out here. Just become systemized and scale, right?
Yeah, no, that's great, man. No, it's just wild to see what other people are doing. They're just levels. The Meek Mill song, levels to the shit.
Myself, I feel like I'm a baby, in some of these rooms. I'm like, but then I sit back, I'm like, okay, all right, humble kid, like just be grateful, and I am. I'm truly grateful.
Yeah,
but, you're always looking to grow and be better, right? So like, it's good to learn from others, and that's why I love to give back because I'm always loving to learn as well. So it's like a circle effect. So
100%. Yeah, I feel like that's a big misconception a lot of people have is that people that are successful or businesses or whatever doing better in life, that they don't want to help other people. But I find those people are the ones that help the most, and that's why they're winning. It's because they're go-givers.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, man, it's really you gotta love it, man, because like at the end of the day, like work's work, right? Like all this shit we're talking about is great, but like, what's your purpose? You feel me? Like, what you do every day, why you wake up. Mine is to help as many businesses grow and to grow, have a family and have, lead the example for my son, right? Something to show him, like he's typically at my feet right now, but he's sleeping. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he knows, he's involved, right? And, carrying a legacy on of providing value and helping people grow and then growing as a family and business owner and father and husband, all that stuff. Right. So all that will make you true happiness, right? Chasing money, chasing deals, for what, right? Yes, have a reason for it, right? Do something with the money, right? Invest it in long-term, assets, things that will, make you money forever, right? Because you're not always going to be selling wholesale deals for the rest of your life. I'm sure all of you didn't get into that, be doing this forever, right?
Right.
There's a lot of you guys are reinvesting the money. A lot of you guys are flipping these deals and renting them out, which is great. Continue to do all that. Renting out properties is valuable, especially in areas where Airbnb is super hot right now. So, there's a lot of opportunity. And if you're not in groups like, we're in Apex together, Apex is a powerful group and it's not for everybody. So unless you're a hustler with no excuses, don't join this group. What I'm saying? Just for killers. But if you want to be part of a family that, that's about making shit happen and becoming the most elite versions of ourselves, this is the group to be in. But I also encourage you all to just become involved with people and just get masterminds where, like ours, where we're constantly encouraging people to show you what's possible, right? Let's show you. I mean, dude, Kai jumps on and fucking does cold calling in front of the whole fucking live Facebook. Like, I mean, that takes balls, right? you're going to take rejection online and have people watch you and stuff. I mean, he's willing to do that to show you what it takes, right? So, and as you can see, it's really not that hard. It's more about just pounding the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you finally get the 2 or 3 people to answer in the hour, then you just got to be ready. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, it's, as you can see, it's not that hard. So you just got to be convicted to it. And I posted about this the other day. Discipline and consistency is going to prevail, right? All about doing the little things each and every day consistently. And I've been learning this every year, every day, especially as you grow in business. I've been in business for 5+ years as I scale and scale and scale. And I start to learn, okay, why did I get to the certain next benchmark? It's like, okay, what did I do that year? And then I look back at some of the lack of consistencies that I had, right? Some of the things that maybe fell off, or maybe I was winning and I kind of slowed down, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Everybody has it. But like, understand that, like, waking up every day and doing these little things, going to the gym, doing the small things, the consistent things, is what's going to win in the end. Then when you go back on December 31st and you look back on the whole year, when you're popping bottles on New Year's Eve, you can say, damn, that was a damn good year. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm looking forward to. So
100%.
Boom, right again. You got all that momentum at the end of the year, but take it into the next year and just keep it going. Keep that train going. Momentum's the next thing. If you're new to business, if you're watching this, momentum and persistence are the number one things you want to remember right now. As you begin to get wins, keep that momentum. Don't let your foot off the gas. Keep rolling. Keep going. Keep investing. Keep learning and keep investing in yourself. Don't always invest in the shiny shit. Invest back into you. Learn how to do marketing. Learn how to generate your own data. Learn how to do whatever you need to do to help you scale at the most affordable rate, right? Like, how can you do it, right?
No, I think that's the biggest thing. I feel like momentum, I mean, it's so hard to get it going, especially when you're first starting. And then if you just do it and then party too long and then you lose it, and it's going to take forever to get it back. So, I mean, really, you just want to keep that momentum going.
That's a law of attraction too, right? Like, you put in the work will pay off. But if you start fucking off, well, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to get nothing. Don't expect that shit. And real estate's cutthroat too. Wholesaling, even on the residential side of things. If I was to call a bunch of people the first 2 weeks of February and didn't call them on the second 2 weeks of February, I would have not got no deals, because it all happened on the second call, the second round, right? So like, that's goes down to consistency and discipline, right? If I got tired and want to make that call today, well, that's why I have a team, right? Because that team definitely made that call, made that connection. Thank you, Jesus, right? Because I mean, that's what we have teams for, So if you struggle with certain things, if you find that you're not closing deals because you're bottlenecking at certain points, whether it be the cold calling aspect, or you can't handle objections, or you just don't know how to properly pitch because you don't know how to structure deals over the phone quickly. I close a lot of listings over the phone. Like, I don't even have to go meet with these sellers. Like, that's a misconception, because most people say, oh, don't try to push for that. Try to meet them. It's like, dude, if you know how to sell over the phone like I do, and when I say sell, I mean provide value, where it's the transfer of services. Like, okay, they see the value. Let's do business right now. They don't need to meet me until tomorrow, right? Like, by then I'm already inked. You know what I'm saying? So like, have all of your stuff ready on your computer to be able to run numbers, run comps, run things. Don't be like, oh, okay, we're going to call you back in a couple hours after run some numbers. It's like, no, let's run them now. Do you have a few minutes? Hey, if you just have a couple minutes, let me just run a couple of numbers and see what we can do to help you out. It sounds like you're, whatever situation is, we want to help you. Let me just go up a second. You have a few minutes. Let me run a couple of numbers here. Okay, boom. How much we owe on the house, right? Do you have any condition issues? What do you think it could sell for? Things like that, and start building up that net sheet, right? And then boom, this is what it's going to be, and paint that perfect picture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
And run numbers right then. Time kills deals too. So I don't know how everybody's different. I've heard so many different ways that people approach the data. Some people will have people call it and they'll say, we'll call you back with an offer. And then they email them an offer. That's the dumbest approach ever. More direct, right? Like, when you present an offer, you want to be able to read them and hear what they say, their tonality, things like that. So like, if you're on the phone with them when you present that, you have to be able to handle any objections, come back with anything that can help maybe, renegotiate the offer to potentially save the deal, right? So when you're ready to procure an offer, a proposal, pull for a Zoom, pull for a call, right? Make that connection and build the value before you do it.
Yeah. No, that's great, man. Well, man, I appreciate you coming on. I know I got a ton of value. I'm sure everyone else did. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you and connect with you more?
Yeah, you can shoot me a DM on Facebook. Just look up my name, William Hyder. You can also check out my website, massivemarketingpros.com. But just hit me on the DMs. if you want to schedule a time on the calendar on the website, you can do that. I'll get that too. But the most direct approach is just to hit me in the DMs. If you have any questions about anything I talked about today, please reach out. I have SOPs, different free things we can just give you guys to help you grow. But when it comes to scripts and stuff, guys, use ChatGPT to help you guys on a lot of this stuff. You just got to know how to ask it. So it'll help you, honestly. So
100%.
That being said, man, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And anything else I want to add? The most important thing is persistence, momentum, create systems, create those systems to bend scale.
Boom.
That's it.